Hello there, I'm Corel Painter Master Aaron Rutten, and in this video I'm going to talk about the new update to ParticleShop. ParticleShop is a plugin for Adobe Photoshop made by Corel, and version 1.2 has some pretty cool features. If you want to know what's changed in this version, you can click on the release notes. I'm going to go to painterartist.com, then I'm going to go to Support, then I'm going to go to Patches and Updates, and I'll select ParticleShop. That'll take you to this page. You have a version for Windows, and you have a version for Mac. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to download the Windows version. It's 75 megabytes, so it might take a little bit of time to download. Once that file has been downloaded, I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to click on Run. This will be a very similar process on Mac. You'll just want to follow the installation instructions. So once the installer is completed, we'll click on Exit, and we can go ahead and launch Photoshop and test out the new feature. So I'm going to go to Window, Extensions, ParticleShop. You can also use this little icon here to pop it open. So I'm just going to open a sample image. This is a picture I took here in Seattle, and you have a few options in the panel. It says choose the layer you want to use in ParticleShop. So which layer do we want to bring into ParticleShop? Do we want to duplicate the active layer, or do we want to duplicate the visible layers below and merge them with the active layer? Or you can just use the active layer and not duplicate it, meaning that that's going to be a destructive edit. So let's start with the first option here. I'm just going to use a single layered document like this photograph. I'm going to duplicate the active layer. So I'm going to click Launch ParticleShop. You can see that it duplicated the active layer. And then we get this little tip here that says we recommend that you create a copy of the selected layer before you bring it into ParticleShop. We already know about that. We've done that here by clicking on this little shortcut. So you can just go ahead and click on Do Not Show This Message again, and then launch ParticleShop, and that's not going to pop up again. So now we can go in here to the hair brushes. We can select some hair, and we'll bring up our color here. We'll pin it. Maybe we'll use our color sampler to sample a color. And we'll draw bigger hair on this person here. Maybe we'll go to Storm, and we'll get some clouds here. We'll put in some clouds up here at the top. And then when we're done adding to this, we can click on Save down here at the bottom. And it asks us, do we want to merge the brush strokes with the source content, or do we want to save only the brush strokes? And this bottom option here, Save Only Brush Strokes, is non-destructive, so that's what we're going to want to choose. Let's click on OK. So now those brush strokes are on their own layer, and we could move them around. I could have made the clouds separate from the hair, but I could also just cut and paste and separate it that way. So now if we want to continue adding layers, what we're going to want to do is click on Duplicate Visible Layers Below and then Merge with Active Layer. So that's going to combine all these layers together so that we can work on them. So I'm going to go to Launch ParticleShop. You can see it made a group out of all those layers, and then it combined them into a single image. So now we have a composite that we can work with. And just like last time, we're going to just export the brush strokes. Maybe we'll use something like this twinkle brush. I'll zoom in kind of close here. Put some little twinkles here. Maybe these things are shiny off in the distance. And maybe we'll select something like cape. We'll select this brown color. We'll give this person kind of a flowing scarf here. Now let's go to save. Let's save only the brush strokes. And now you can see that even though it combined all those layers together so that we could work on them, it only exported the brush strokes. So I can move these layers around. And again, if I wanted to, I could have made them separately, or I can just separate them this way by cutting and then pasting. It'll probably be more helpful to choose paste in place rather than paste. So you go to paste special, paste in place. That way everything stays where it was at when you cut and paste it. Now let's take a look at the final option, which is use active layer. I'm going to select these clouds over here in the distance as my active layer, and I'm going to launch ParticleShop. So what's happening here is since we're only working on the active layer, it's only showing us the clouds. And you can barely see them up here because it's white on this checkered background. And this checkered background represents transparency. Since the clouds didn't have anything behind them, you're just seeing this invisible background. So if we wanted to, we could select kind of a blue-gray color. We'll go back to our storm brush pack and go back to the billowy brush. Maybe we just want to add more to this particular cloud. make it bigger and add a little bit of a shadow to it. We can go to save. We want to save only the brush strokes. So now we've added to our cloud, and we can still move that cloud around. Now, if you wanted to see that cloud on the background while working on it, what you would do is you would choose duplicate visible layers below and merge with active layers. So this background is below the cloud. Now, if you wanted to be able to see the hair and the scarf and all that stuff, you'd need to move the cloud up to the top. Then we'll launch ParticleShop. Now, if we add more to this cloud, like so, and then we save again, and we save only brush strokes, what's going to happen is it's not going to add to the cloud layer like it did when we chose use active layer. It's going to create a new layer with the brush strokes that we just added. So you can see I can actually move those away. But fortunately, if you wanted to combine these two layers together, that's pretty easy to do. You hold Shift, you select both the cloud layers, and then you hit Control E on your keyboard or Command E if you're on Mac to merge those layers together into a single layer. You can see I did that here. And of course, you can transform these layers and reposition them and so on. You could even duplicate them if you want to. You also have the option of reducing the opacity. You can also blend them or add filters. I could blur it if I wanted to by using Gaussian blur to help it match in a little bit. I could even change the color, but that's getting into a whole bunch of Photoshop stuff. If you're interested in learning how to do some of that stuff in Photoshop, I have a video training course available called Photoshop Essential Skills for Artists, which is primarily geared towards people who do digital painting, but it also teaches you a lot about how to use all of the tools and features in Photoshop and composite images and change colors and remove backgrounds and things like that. So it would be really helpful to a photographer or a designer as well. So I definitely recommend that you check that out. It's available for sale on Gumroad or on my website, aaronrutten.com. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, take a quick second to like this video. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to get updates when I release new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.